audience for the sake of the early launch and the MVP has been enterprise customers in India across varied sectors, predominantly chemical, textile, and food. And we will expand across the country into other sectors as well and into other geographies progressively, depending upon the scale needs and the market to product fit. So the agenda of this discussion was to focus first, obviously, on the problem and then the market size and why, and then take you through the most important part, which is the product demonstration, a quick brief on competitor analysis, mode strategy, and business model. And then we can go into the financial projections and the future social impact. The problem statement, as I indicated, if you look at international trade itself, right, it's been over multi-century problem in terms of documentation overload, very manual processes, and that continues till date. It's a $30 trillion industry that is pending and begging for automation of workflows and also document processing. Now, why is this important? Because across exporters, importers, both of the cohorts, and country-specific norms and nuances and typical exporters and importers facing myriad paperwork around varied documentation aspects like letter of credit, tax invoice, shipping bill, and so on, some of which I'll get into in the demo as well. They're still stuck in this format, and we believe there is a huge opportunity to automate the document workflows, integrate with ERP systems, and also simplify and remove the manual element, if you will, to reduce and improve, obviously, compliance constructs and rejections of goods both at the port of departure and also the port of entry, as we have seen in myriad examples in even India exporter context across even larger exporters and SMB exporters for sure. So we are simplifying that. Like I said, the market size is pretty sizable globally. And we have taken this that if we were to be the only one and basis our revenue ARR model, and in a given period of time, let's say by 2025 or 20 ARR in it, and let's say by 2030, what is that market size potential like? The TAM is around $5.7 billion, of which we believe that the opportunity market that we can capture for these four sectors, like I indicated, is close to about $100 million. It's conservative side 84. There's also a calculation sheet. Happy to share offline. Now, why Liquidmind AI and what are the L0 metrics, right? We believe that we have an opportunity and a shot at streamlining the entire document workflow end to end from the time a typical exporter uploads, which I'll take you through, improve compliance rates, and obviously adhere to the non-compliance. And if you look at, let's say, SCOMET, right? For those of you who are familiar with trade, you will know sensitive chemical organisms and engineering goods and technology as a sector. There is so much of compliance, dual use prevention, export restriction, so many things that are, and this has become a very hot topic now of late in the last year or so, actually in the last 6 months. And we believe that the documentation efficiency, say for a typical team in the early pilots that we've been running with our customer cohorts, we have seen tangible evidence that with the deployment of our solution and the products that I'll take you through, shipment documentation workload for a typical end user, a worker who's working on manually verifying, validating, extracting, and comparing against and making sure that it is in line with what they validate with customs before departure on the
Yeah, Naveen,
pre-shipment
quick
use
time
case.
check. We are 3.5 minutes into.
Right. So that typically will be validated, and also, you can ensure that that is adhering to the norms. Similarly, there are HS code misclassification pain points that we're solving for. Exporters don't know for a given category, who to approach. A lot of PDF documentation, that's the best that people have done in portals like iSkate portal, etc. Incentive filing can be done, which is through a calculation mean and validated. Audit trails can be improved, which we have tried to solve for, and pilot deployment efficiency. It's a quick view of our product suite. Our flagship product is called TradeGuard, which I'll take you through. And Patram AI is our document multimodal processing agent, which has a myriad ability for an exporter to know the latest that is released, let's say from the Director General of Foreign Trade, DGFT, adhering to doc compliance constructs and so on, and the HS code module. Now, here's a quick view of a customer journey that I'll take you through. I'll take off and go into the demo itself. This is a typical use case, right? Workflow. I'll quickly take you through a journey of this is what an exporter goes through as a pain point. They have to process all the documentation aspects, like I indicated, the pre-shipment stage, they have to go through a set of documents that they have, say tax invoice. A typical tax invoice will look something like this, right? So this is a typical tax invoice format, typical suspects, right? HSM code, consignee name, destination address, who's the exporter, and so on. And then that is validated against the ICE gate. This is the typical Indian customs. I have anonymized it for the sake of confidentiality of our clients and pilots that we are running as well. And this it contains a list of all the HS codes, the incentives that they can avail, ROD, TAP, ROD, CTL, and so on. Some of the details on whether it is COMET or non-COMET and so on, etc. So that's kind of adhering to, and these guys work in liaison with the customs house agents, right? So they are in charge of working with the customs people to validate. Now, a typical worker, the large enterprise textile giants and food giants that we're working with, we have seen data, tangible evidence that they have to validate it against a set of checklist parameters, right? They call it critical to quality parameters. And this checklist is validated, and the outcome, the raw output of our own product construct is something like this, where there is, let's say, an exporter name and address that has to be validated between, say, tax invoice, which is this, and the ICE gate, the customs house agents, which comes from the customs portal. If this isn't done, then this export journey will be, entire thing will be rejected, right? So this is a typical swim lane diagram of a typical exporter, CHA, and a customs use case. And if it gets rejected, then there is a huge pain area there. And then that item doesn't even get sanctioned for even getting exported, right? So similarly, there is a lot of other use cases around. They have to validate against this huge list. And there is a lack of efficiency, lack of productivity, even 100-member teams for a typical large enterprise or a textile exporter, as an example, or a food exporter. There could be 2,000 shipments a month. And their throughput is on an average about 18 hours a day spent manually verifying. Per doc, they spend an hour. We have seen in deploying our solution, which is this TradeGuard. This is how they upload. They put the tax invoice, the shipping bill for verification, and so on. And then technically the documents get processed, and it runs through series of our models which do three jobs. One is extraction, one is mapping, real-time validation, and as it processes the documents, it will show what is the status and show the final output in the raw form. Then it processes the report, and the report in the raw form, which I just showed you here, could be this. And the insights are what matters, and the insights look something like this, right? So typically,
Mr. Naveen, just a prompt. You are close to
yes.
2 minutes.
Yeah. So typically, those will come and show in the form of a, this thing, insights dashboard, where you can actually see a lot of the useful constructs that matter to the exporter, right? How many were exposed to geopolitical risk, or how many were exposed to, let us say, letter of credit inconsistencies or documentation inconsistencies, transaction compliance nuances, and so on, right? So and then what do they lose if they don't do it, right? Through this entire automation. And we have seen that we have reduced and improved the efficiency significantly by an order of magnitude on, and its data to boot, which is typically what we have seen on the this thing when we deployed this in our pilots for the enterprise journey and so on. There is almost a reduction of, for all of the 30 or 40 member teams that have been deployed that work, let's say, one entire month, 30 full days, we can crunch it and run parallel processes through a Liquidmind TradeVeda module and shrink it into as low
Naveen,
as,
1 more minute to go.
let
Do
us
you want
say,
to go to Bhatram?
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I'll quickly take you through Patram AI, which is a multimodality construct. Now, the use case of Patram is largely around solving for multimodal RAG constructs, right? So typically, you could have a document that could be multimodal in nature. So multimodal means there is text, there is chart, there is image. As example is this, right? A Merrymaker report. Now we are able to give insights to this, scanning through the PDF and through running through our LLMs, and making sure that it is super accurate in terms of extracting it and providing insights to our exporters. This is also a product that is live in for our pilots that our exporters have seen a lot of value on. A quick word before I conclude. The competitors that we operate with against in India are players like Trajix. What is our strength and innovativeness? We are obviously focusing heavily on AI agents individual for a custom workflow. and adhering to compliance, while Trajix has gone the breadth way. They do both for exporters, importers, and so on. There are many more, TradeStream, TradeSun, and so on in the US and so on. And then the business model, we believe that $4 to $10 per shipment is a good revenue model to go for. And we have done extensive cost computations that help us stay net value positive. And financial projections as well have been included.
Mr.
And
Naveen, the timer has stopped. We have to stop
sure,
with the presentation.
we are almost done.
Thank you
Yes.
for the presentation.
Thank you.
We'll move toward the Q&A now. Judas, we are open for the question and answers. Dr. Vinay.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Vinay.
Yeah. Good afternoon. I have, two questions. One is, I understand that a lot of technologies have been brought together and consolidated into this product. So question number one is related to, what can you claim as your own as the innovation? I mean, I can understand the integration part of it, but is there anything beyond that? That is question number one. So if you can respond to that, I'll ask my question number two.
Sure. So I think the USP for us is that, there has never been an attempt to go deep into solving for document extraction, not just and mapping it in the exporter or an importer context till date from whatever we have seen out there. It's done in bits and pieces and shades and with high levels of accuracy. We believe that our innovation will also be usage of multi LLMs also helps us improve. We use Microsoft Document Intelligence. Over and above that, we use GPT-4 itself, or one, etc. And that multiple layer of models as well has helped us consistently go to accuracy levels of 95% plus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if I can
Rajesh, go
add,
ahead.
Dr. Vinay. So I think the beauty here is if you, let's say, our client today goes directly to ChatGPT and uploads his document, he will see some results which are not readily usable, right? What we have done is we have LLMs are good up to 80% of your accuracy levels, but to take it to 95, 98% plus accuracy and use it in production grade systems or do in financial systems like ours takes a lot of refining and fine tuning of a lot of elements, lot of things in between. And that is what we have done and we have achieved here. Probably that I would claim as one of our biggest innovations.
Okay, understood. So the second question is related to the level of automation itself. Like you mentioned, achieving 100% is, or targeting 100% reliability automation is out of question for these
Yes.
cases. So here is my point, that if I am involved in creating the document, at least I know what I have created. And if incremental changes are made to that, I'm able to detect the changes or issues, if any. How do I handle, lot of documentation which is created completely automatically? How do I ensure that they are correct, reliable? Will it not take more time for me to ensure their correctness and reliability, especially if I'm relying on automation level to this extent? Okay.
Yeah.
So it comes back to, the usual problems with AI. How have you tackled that? And have you used any of your own technology there?
No, excellent question, Dr. Vinay. Thank you for asking. So
In
we
fact,
have dwelled on
our
this a lot.
client also asked the same question, right? In the
Yeah,
first place.
exactly. So, no, I think, so seriously, right? I think, see, we have explored AI Coach. We have explored the data sets available out there to see if we could leverage any existing data sets that we could harness. Answer was a resounding no. Obviously, right? No, it's a new space. People haven't really uploaded too many of those. So it comes back to what are our training models going to look like? How are we going to make it on-premise, enterprise specific, enterprise by enterprise, given we're working with this large cohort? Across, like you said, also coming to the next part of the structured data constructs, how do you understand varied document formats? Given on an average, a typical export shipment could have anywhere between 10 to 15 documents being processed, etc. How do you handle nuances to that structured data? And we evaluated all the alternatives out there in the market as well. For example, Andrew Ng's has a deep learning, it's called Landing Lens. It does something pretty similar to what we aspire to do. We want to give a point and click to train the models also on various models across for that enterprise. So that over a period of time, we are training it enterprise specific way in a very meaningful way and anonymize the data and then perhaps make it available as a generic data training set as well.
Maybe Naveen,
Want to add, Rajesh?
one more thing to add, Dr. Vinay here is on the reliability factor, we are using like different types of LLMs as evals, right? We have very strong eval model which checks for output efficiencies. Let's say I use GPT as one model to come up with an output result. We use evals with Gemini or Anthropic and other different LLMs to diversify the output structure and make them as judges to evaluate input or output from other LLMs. Whenever we are 100% sure, which we are thankfully able to achieve in 95% plus cases for a financial document, we say that, hey, this is a pass, which means the end user need not even evaluate, need not even look at this. They can blindly go ahead. That is where the power of automation comes in. This 5% of cases where we are doubtful, even that can go through. In fact, if you look at the data, maybe it is at 98%, but we are not completely sure. So we flag it to the end user to say, hey, these 5% of cases, we are not completely sure, but this is financial data. So I want you to double check, cross verify before you proceed.
Okay, fine. Yeah, thanks.
And Dr. Vinay, just a quick addition to that, right? We have seen some good encouragement from some of the early pilot users as well to encourage this co-pilot thing. I mean, as you know, there are human resource specific sensibilities that creep in. There many times they're like, oh, you want to completely replace my staff. And we say, no, we actually want human feedback to come in at some point to take from 95 to 100. So we have seen cases of that construct.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir, for question. Professor Rahul, your question, sir.
Yeah, so you talk about using multi LLMs to evaluate, but how do you like? I mean, do you have some numbers to share? You mentioned about 95% of the cases. So what does that actually mean? So you say that 95% you are 100% confidence. Yeah. So can you just elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, sure, Rahul. Naveen, you want to open up that sheet, the raw output sheet?
Yeah, hold on. I'll just try to share that as well.
Yeah. To set the context while Naveen loads the screen, Rahul. So what happens
No,
is
it should be
we
on your screen now.
we have a couple of documents like a shipping bill and a tax invoice bill. And there's an army of people who just look at this, stare at these two big PDFs. You want to show those PDFs once, Naveen?
Yeah, so this is the export invoice on a typical user journey that user typically uses to compare against the output coming in from a customs house agent. And it has to be in sync, right, against these CTQ critical to quality parameters that they have been assigned. There are
So
about 50,
again, what
60
this
odd.
means, Professor Rahul, is you will see each of these parameters in document 1 and document 2. The label names will be very different. For example, in one document, it will be destination port. In another document, it will be some other name altogether, right? The LLM has to do a very good job in terms of mapping all these labels in the first place, figuring out whether all these labels are present in both the documents or not, and then extract them and then compare them together to say, hey, values for this label in this document is equal to value in this document or not, right? And that's what you see in this sheet where we compare each of those, right? So
This
for
is the
example,
comparison sheet.
yeah,
Yeah.
in this sheet, it says the source field, right? Exporter name address, for example. I want to compare sheet one's data with sheet two's data, and I'll give a target score, right? Is the confidence level good, bad, or ugly? And at the end of the day, we aggregate all this and say, like when I say 95% accuracy, let's say there are 52 CTQ metrics is what we have seen so far. Out of 52 CTQ metrics, roughly around 2 or 3, there are chances of errors. But 50 or 48 plus, we are 100% sure they're accurate. So the client need not even look at those. They have to only look at those 3 or 4 metrics where our systems flag.
No, so
And
my
just an
question was,
addition,
how do
right?
you actually say, when you say that you're 100% sure,
Yeah.
what is the process you use to actually come up with that number? No? That was my note. I'm not trying to, and of course, when you put this thing, you'll say these cases I'm 100% sure, you don't need to look at it. That's okay, but what is your process of doing that? Like, when do you say I'm 100% sure?
Yeah,
And how do you
sure.
actually know that you're 100% sure?
Yeah. What happens is we actually go through an onboarding process to begin with, right? The client share some set of documents to say these are the 5, 6 different formats of data that come in for my particular sort of company. These typically vary by which port of destination or which country they import from or export to, or who are their end clients. There are some variations based on that. They typically share all these sample sets with us, right? Our team goes through, puts this into our engine and sees what is the evaluation right out of the box, which means we feed it to 100 or 400 types of different documents and we see how these metrics are, right? And again, there is some amount of manual verification done by our team as well, to ensure the confidence numbers that system is throwing is accurate or not. Once we look at those, we also compare it to a sample set, a new sample set. We fine tune some of the parameters, like the prompts that are used, the temperature settings that are used, the pipelines that are used to build all this, to see how the end output is moving. And again, there is a basic human eval done by our team as well to ensure all these are good as part of the onboarding process. Once these are set and we see that the results are replicated again and again, we establish the fact that here are our accuracy levels.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks.
sir, for your question. Bhupesh, your question.
So since this is an innovation award, can you really highlight 2 or 3 unique propositions which your competitors like TradeStream, iCustom, others are offering? Very briefly, right?
Sure. So the first is going deep into AI agents for even document processing on Patram AI. I couldn't dwell on it much, but largely the goal of that was multimodality, which is text, chart, image, accurately pulling it through open router and multiple LLMs, etc. But the key value add in terms of innovativeness has been accuracy levels being north, in that Patram's case, close to about 96-98% accuracy consistently. And why does it matter to a typical exporter, which I don't think any of these competitors have it today? Is it matters because export documents change on on a dime, and DGFT often releases PDFs and releases it in hard copies
What is
and
the
so on.
adoption? What is the
Exporters
adoption in
don't.
the market? How many customers are using your
We are
system?
running pilots across food verticals with large billion-dollar customers, and likewise with textile customers. And we have even partnered with Trade Promotion Council of India to launch a few thought leadership constructs with them, and therefore harness their target customer base.
So how
All are
much
in
part of you
pilots.
have, how much part you have done with fine tuning and how much is relying on the RAG?
Oh, Patram is heavily leveraging both RAG as also LLM constructs. In the case of our primary trade Veda, which is
So
doing
not
this
fine
entire
tuning,
CTQ mapping.
not fine tuning. It's primarily RAG.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Thank you so
primarily
much.
RAG plus LLM. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Wish you good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Team Liquidmind. You did well with the presentation as well as greatly answered the questions. Mr. Naveen and Mr. Raj, thanks for the presentation. We wish you the best with your innovation.
Thank you, Tushar. Thank you, team. Thank you, Juraj.
Best of luck.
Good day.
Yes. Jurors, please enter the score for Liquidmind. Till that, I will get the next set ready. Jurors, we have our next presentation from the company's name, Tifin India at Work Techsuite Solutions Private Limited. And we have our presenter, Mr. Kiran, who will be showcasing their innovation.
Good evening.
Good evening, Kiran.
I'm good to start.
Mr. Kiran, we'll request to make it into full screen.
Yes. I'm sorry, it seems to have some issue in full screen. Apologies, there's some issue with the screen share. It doesn't seem to be allowing me. Do I have permissions? Just gonna try once more.
Can you reshare? Yeah. We'll request make it into full screen.
Yeah, go ahead, Kiran.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
related.
We have a timer of 10 minutes, Mr. Kiran. You can start with your presentation.
Sure. Thank you. Uh, so Workify, which is the brand name for our product, essentially looks at connecting workplace with financial prosperity, right? As individuals, as employees, one of the things that often happens where is that our money comes in at the workplace, but we don't get any assistance once this hits our bank accounts. So we're trying to really solve that problem of connecting financial prosperity at the workplace where you receive that money, right? There have been a number of assessments that have been done that kind of is able to highlight and show you a monetary value of what this looks like. And what we're really looking to do is address this problem by combining generative AI with the various tools that are available at the workplace today, right? So that goes everything from sort of payroll systems to benefits, EPF, NPS, etc., and really combine that into a single platform where you're able to have an entirely conversational experience with the product. Financial literacy, especially in India, is fairly low, and helping people start that journey and simplifying that experience is extremely important, and also creates benefits not just for the employee but the workplace as a whole as well. I mean, these stats have come from sort of research reports that have been published by Deloitte and others, and it's a very real problem that we believe that we can have a pretty large impact on. So when it comes to systems, right, we have HRMS systems, we have payroll systems, we have chatbots separately. What we have really done here is brought all of that together, as I was saying, right? So, for example, you can say something as simple as what is my last pay slip to which tax regime should I use, right? Or what is the benefits of EPF, or what is my EPF balance? Should I invest in NPS? So all of those are questions that come up at the workplace. And today, there is no real solution that is orchestrating all of these different sort of APIs and solutions in a single location. I'm going to just directly jump into the demo, which will, give you a better sense of the product, and then we can continue on from there. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, the screen is visible, Mr. Kiran.
Okay. So this is your Workify homepage where you land after you log in with your employee email and phone number. You can come in and say something as simple as what's my last payslip, as I was mentioning. Idea really here is, simple questions as well as complex questions. We're kind of able to address them for the customer. You can even say things like, I want my payroll history for the last 6 months. Here you're able to kind of identify any sort of differences that may have happened in your payroll, really just gaining more confidence with what your employer is giving you, right? You can say, what is my NPS? Sorry. Oh, so here I don't have an NPS account, so I can say, what is my EPF balance? So it gives me a balance. I can ask more details. So which companies contribute to that? So here it gives you more information on that as well. Other areas that we focused on is medical. So you can say, what is my medical cover, right? Often you're in an emergency situation that I myself was about a week ago. Often you need to call HR and get the details for that. But here you can sort of get that real time, right? So show my medical. So it tells you, kind of gives you all the details. In the hospital, you can kind of submit that immediately as well. Even specific questions like, does cover heart surgery? Oops. Just going to move on to a slightly different question. What are the list of hospitals? So my default location is Mumbai, so it gives you the type of the hospitals as well as the type of coverage that it has. We're also in the process of integrating NPS, but NPS we are able to do FAQs as well. So you can say what are the benefits. Oops. Sorry, I seem to have some issue with this. I'm going to pause over here on the demo and continue with the slides that I had.
Mr. Kiran, just a prompt. You are also close to 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. I will wrap it up soon. So really, as I was saying, Workify is kind of building and pulling all of these different elements together in a single place, right? Whether it's sort of financial guidance, payroll, tax, NPS, EPF, etc., and really building all of those things, bringing all of those things together, and giving the employee that sort of confidence that they are able to kind of grow their wealth is what we're really focused on, right? So we're not an HR tech product. We are really focused on that financial wellness piece of the system. We believe that this opportunity is over 3,000 crores. I would say this is perhaps conservative as well, but because we're really looking at going after larger companies with hundreds of thousands of employees, anything sort of 10,000 plus is our target. Even if you look at the space we're in, which is a combination of sort of AI, HR, and financial wellness, it's a rapidly growing space, right? So there is a huge opportunity for this product to hit a very large audience, especially in India, and kind of scale from there. We've also taken a sort of, even when it comes to the tech and the AI capabilities, we're really looking at a combination of sort of closed source models as well as open source models, which is allowing us to control cost and also be scalable at the same time. We've also integrated with a number of payroll systems. All the sort of common ones that you see at large organizations are something that we already cover. And then assuming that we are able to scale and get product market fit in this segment, where we are looking to expand to other regions in Asia as well. These are just some sort of testimonials and of people we've rolled out to in the pilot phase at the moment. One of the biggest challenges that people face with sort of queries related to money is that they go to HR. HR is often not equipped to deal with those queries, so it goes to finance and comes back, and there's a large loop that it goes through. And while all of this is happening, that employee is sort of stressed about, okay, how do I solve this problem, right? So we're really looking to kind of solve that in real time. That's it. I am happy to take questions.
Thank you, Mr. Kiran. Thanks for the presentation. Jurors, we are open for the Q&A. Professor Rahul, would you like to take up the first question?
So I'm just trying to understand. So here the companies would be your customers, is it? They are going to actually onboard this and they are going to ask the employees to, put this app on their phones to be able to interact, is it?
That's correct. So we are selling to employers, but the end consumer is the employee at the workplace. Today it's through an app, but again, we are flexible and very sort of API driven in that sense. So as as we kind of roll this out further, whether it's integrating with their existing chat system on Slack or WhatsApp or Microsoft Teams, all possibilities. But yes, today
And the critical financial data, you are going to send that to GPT and all that stuff, right? That's sort of
So
the
we are moving almost entirely towards open source models that are hosted on servers in India. There is still a small amount of GPT models that we use today, but that within the next 3 months should go away also. But in addition to that, what I should add is that even what we send to GPT models and even our own models that are self-hosted, we anonymize the data. So we have an anonymizer that sits. So there is no PII that is leaking into any of these models.
but you'll keep the context for a particular user, over a long period of time, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
the medical history as well as the financial data, all of that you would
Yeah.
have, right? For all the people.
Correct. And
And
today, just to add to that, we are already ISO compliant and will be SOC 2 compliant as well.
I see. I see. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for your question. Dr. Vinay, your question, sir.
Yeah, one question Professor Rahul already asked. I had the same question, but still I am not very clear about, you are touching so many databases, right? Maybe you are touching HRMS, you are touching so you talked about medical. So how does one get the medical records, for instance?
So we don't get medical records, it's medical insurance. So it is the
Insurance.
company's medical policy document. We are not processing any sensitive medical records, at least at the moment. The medical documents are provided by the company. So we have a 2-week onboarding process for any new enterprise where we get all their benefits documents, their payroll integration done, their medical insurance, etc. And
Do you
that's
also connect to the employees' bank accounts?
no,
No.
no,
Okay. So whatever documents the companies provide, you have access to that,
that's correct.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
So my view of the product right now is it's a sophisticated, let us say, chat-based interface to retrieval of information. Okay. Maybe, so database retrieval, yes, intelligent database retrieval. Maybe some kind of projections based on what has happened in the past. But can it get prescriptive in nature? So can I ask questions like, I want to retire at 42 years of age, what should I do?
Not yet. Today, it does not have that investment capability, investment module in there yet. But yes, the idea is we would plug in more modules like that, which could answer that more directly, but not yet.
I see. Okay. So again, coming to standard question, which Bhupesh is going to ask you, what is your innovation in this?
See, when it comes to the LLM itself, right, there are very few or none that are really building and bringing together information that is specific to you as an employee at an organization. Now, yes, there is a lot of integration with existing APIs and things like that that we are doing. But also when it comes to retrieval of some of these document information, we are sort of working on multimodal RAG models there that are specific to our organization. So there is innovation both what we are orchestrating as well as how we are doing it. Our performance on RAG is significantly better than just uploading a document somewhere in ChatGPT or Anthropic or any of those systems, right? So they have been sort of made specific to how medical documents look, how benefit documents look, and various other documents that we need to ingest.
So what you're saying is, let us say, even if you consider RAG, okay, so you have something sitting in between you and the LLM, which kind of adds value, extracts the required information, and then adds some values of its own based on your module that you have created, and then passes on the information to the LLM. Is my understanding correct? I mean, I'm still trying to understand what can
Yeah.
you claim as your own. I mean, what is it that you can patent?
So the RAG itself, and Pawan, who heads our AI, I'll have him talk a little bit more on that. Pawan, can you talk a little bit on the specifics of the multimodal RAG that we have?
Yes, hello everyone. So basically, it's just not RAG, basic RAG. So what we do is, when we read the documents, so first of all, our system is a complex multimodal DAX system, as Kiran said. And then on top of it, we have a complex data processing pipelines wherein we add metadata, which to all the documents. It's not just one document wherein from you can get the answer. You can get the answer from multiple documents. The answer can be sitting in and across various documents. Plus, on after retrieving the relevant information, there can be a complex reasoning on top of that data as well. So we have a switch between reasoning and non-reasoning LLMs as well. So that probably brings in more innovations.
I
The-
see. Something more concrete would be things like, do you have publications or patents based on some of these technologies, or even in terms of the success of the product? How do you claim that your innovation is good and has been successful in the market?
So our product is very new.
Okay.
We are in sort of pilot rollouts with 3 companies right now. So it's too early to say that we have success there for sure. We don't have any patents yet. However, the multimodal RAG is something that we will be applying for as well. So it is early, I'll admit, but we have not seen anything quite like this in the market today, at least in India. And by we, I mean we're part of a larger organization called Tifin, have a similar product in the US, but outside of that, we have not seen this an application like this before.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Bhupesh, I've already asked your question.
Okay, sir, your
So
question.
Rahul, you wanted to ask, you raised the hand, you wanted to ask for some question.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Just a quick one. Yeah, so also given that you're looking at the medical data, if somebody is having a heart attack and just ask that query that which hospital I can go to, and then the trustworthiness of the response is very important, right? So how do you ensure that, and how do you evaluate whether it's trustworthy or not,
See,
especially for medical data? Yeah.
there are 2 things we are doing today. One is that we are doing a lot of manual annotations of the question and answers as well, given it's a early stage. Even if as we automate further, we have a judge LLM process as well. We think that it's too early to rely 100% on that, but we are essentially, as part of onboarding, have over 1,000 query bank that we go through and ensure the answers accurate. We're then using that data to also improve our judge LLM to be able to automate that process as well. But I don't think I have so far not seen a judge LLM process that is 100% reliable. So, given the sensitivity of the data, we are manually validating things as well. However, it is getting better, the automated process.
Okay, thank you.
So Pawan and Kiran, to me, like this is like a sophisticated RAG, right? And so the question comes on the sustainability, the way OpenAI and all these companies, Gemini and everybody is going, they are offering a lot of connectors directly to their platform wherein you can really plug in all structured, unstructured data, right? So slowly and gradually, as I see the future going, that RAG-based, custom-based RAG applications, no matter how sophisticated they are, they're going to really phase out because all these companies, they themselves are struggling in terms of really showing the profitability to their own investors. And that's the pattern which you're seeing in the last 3 months. So
Right.
any comment about the sustainability of your product that overnight, if OpenAI actually releases that. Anyway, in the last phase, in the 5, right? This is what precisely they are trying to do. And I presume in next 6 months, the things are going to really change very differently, which happened in coding platforms.
Yeah.
Overnight, Replit is struggling in their own survival. And that is
Right.
likely to happen in the RAG space.
See, I think, and Pawan, feel free to add to this. If you really look at the market over the past couple of years since LLMs have come out, right? The first 2.5 years, a lot of general purpose LLMs, massive improvements, exponential improvements there. But if you really look at the market today and even where money is being invested, it's really in verticalizing in specific spaces, right? Whether that's finance, health tech, legal tech, etc.
No, that is an SLM phase. That is SLM phase, right? Which is fine tuning. You're not doing the fine tuning. You are basically primarily relying more on the RAG, right? I am saying that yes, establishing a connection with any database is a very simple thing.
So a multimodal RAG is a fine-tuned model. So it's not a general purpose model with just prompts. It is a fine-tuned model for our use cases.
Okay, so you have fine-tuned, and from where you got the data to fine-tune the model?
We have manually gone through PDFs, etc., that we've got from both our experience in the US as well as some from India.
That is, if you have fine-tuned, that also creates a further issue, because any fine-tuned model, when you really host, inferencing cost actually takes your life. You're overburdened with the inferencing cost, and moreover, the hosting cost. And there is no way that you can really compete with per million token cost of Gemini or OpenAI. That further creates the additional problem of the financial burden, which your customers are not likely to really bear, because one, they really offer, then you also loses the cost effectiveness.
Yeah. So
area.
So on the cost part, actually, moving towards open source models and self-hosting has helped us reduce costs significantly, right? Now, there are a number of products that we have. In one of them, we are processing like tens of thousands of messages per day, right?
So what is the cost? What is the cost difference between, like, for example, any GPT model and your model?
So
per million token inferencing cost.
So I'll tell you the main thing there is that OpenAI is charging us per token, right? We have models hosted, which means we are paying a GPU cost, and those GPUs today are able to handle up to like 40, 50 concurrent requests, which is fairly sufficient for quite a lot of scale. We only need 2 GPUs at the moment, which are at around 2 lakhs per machine for an H100 that we pay today. Actually, it's less than that.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. I think you have thought through it. Okay, wish you good luck. It's a good area, all right?
Yeah.
We can debate about the uncertainty of the future, but that should not really stop us.
The uncertainty is a reality.
Yeah, good attempt. That's what innovation is all about. Good work. Keep it up.
So probably I just want to take 30 seconds. I have one answer to Dr. Vinay. He asked about patents. For sure, we don't have patents right now. But our IR system, we I'm sure you guys have heard of semi-val, right? It's a very old competition. So this year we won semi-val, one task of it, and we have a paper there. That's our multilingual IR system, which is across different India's products. And then we won 4 different competitions in CLEF also, CLEF 2025. So we have around 6 papers.
Okay, thanks for
our IR system.
Thanks.
Wonderful, wonderful. Wish you good luck.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Kiran. Thanks for the presentation. Greatly answered the Q&A of all of the jurors. Jurors will request to score for Workify. Till that, I will get the next set ready. We have the same presenters with the different organizations. Myfi, Fintech Advertising, who will be presenting their innovation. Mr. Kiran will request again to share your screen.
Yes. Sorry, I thought I was in 20 minutes, but that sounds happy to go now.
Yes.
Am I good to start?
Yes, so Mr. Kiran, you will start with the presentation.
Okay. So Myfi is essentially a wealth assistant targeted at the masses in India, right? We have seen that there's been an exponential growth in the financial investment space, especially since COVID. And that growth has not slowed down at all, right? We are at 110 million investors. But what has not kept pace is the financial assistance part of it, right? We today if you add RIAs plus mutual fund distributors, any sort of qualified individual, we're still at around 1 lakh 50, 2 lakh people who could assist these individuals in investing. So really the only way that we see that it's possible to scale and solve this problem, which is quite acute, is through an AI assistant. Covered most of these points, 110 million individual investors, financial literacy is extremely low in India, and really need more assistance for these individuals. We have built a product that is contextual with portfolio insights, you're able to find products through the system. We have multilingual capabilities. We have multi-channel delivery, whether that's a mobile app, WhatsApp, and mobile. What I didn't touch on earlier is we both have a direct-to-consumer app, as well as an enterprise offering where we are essentially allowing large enterprises, mutual funds, etc., to use our conversational platform as their backend to servicing their customers. So I will jump into the demo, take it from there. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, the screen is visible.
Okay. So this is the Myfi homepage. I'm a registered user with a connected account. You can say something as simple as find me large cap funds with high returns, right? Here we are essentially ingesting data from the mutual fund industry daily, combining it with the LLM capabilities to give the user a real-time answer on what they are asking. So here we have both large cap exposure, annualized returns, and it just kind of lets that experience be a lot more conversational. You could also ask questions like, what are the sector exposures of one of the things that you may say and see is that why can't I ask ChatGPT this question or Perplexity, right? We are not here allowing the LLM to make any investment financial decisions or data points. It's actually getting this data based on our investment modules and daily data pipelines that we have. So you can ask both individual fund questions, but you can also ask portfolio questions, right? So what is my sector allocation? So here I have my portfolio connected. It analyzes all the funds that are part of it, the stocks that are part of those funds, and then gives you that information. You can also say things like, I want to invest 10K, what should I do? So here we have a light sort of portfolio builder module, asks you a couple of straightforward questions. If you haven't done your risk assessment, it asks you to do that as well. You can enter the SIP amount, what sort of risk level you'd like, proceed, and we give you a bundle of funds that you can invest into directly from here. You can also ask very simple questions. So things like, what is expense ratio? So it gives you a very sort of contextual answer to what that means. And you can also say things in English. So, okay. And is able to understand as well. So today we do have a lot of English in some of these answers, even if your questioning is in Hindi, but we are working towards supporting top 6 to 8 languages in responses as well. So stop. Okay. Just going to show you one more. So this is the WhatsApp channel that I mentioned. So you say, hi, you're a new investor, you come in, gives you a quick summary of what you can do. So you can go all the way from sort of discovering a fund to investing, again on WhatsApp. We also do recommended questions as well, just to help people get started. So again, here you can say find funds with find high returns. We are again able to process this on our back end and give a response back in the WhatsApp format that's necessary. So it gives you some details. Would you like to invest in any of these funds? To next one. The latency is a little slower here because it goes through Meta, but hopefully it comes through. Yeah, so it gives you some details. You can say I'm an existing investor. So I can say I want to invest 10K. What's your question? IP. I realize I'm running out of time, so I'm just going to cut this short, but essentially it would allow you to go through the WhatsApp flows and complete the process here itself. So as you can see, the entire, I'm sorry?
No, could continue.
So as you can see, the entire process is very conversational. We are multilingual, primarily in Hindi today, but we'll be adding other languages as well. We're channel agnostic. We have a web version of this also. And really, today we are processing between 15 to 25K messages every day, where with one of the top AMCs in the country, we'll be rolling this out to others as well. So just given the market space we're in and everything we're seeing, both from a macro perspective as well as a specific AI tech and finance perspective, there's a massive revenue opportunity as well as impact, right, for the end customer. As we've kind of discussed, financial literacy in India is still quite low. There's a lot of investment in real assets, but that is trending towards more digitized financial investments, which we want to be a part of, and help these individuals move from sort of risky assets and sort of betting on F&Os and things like that, and helping them through that financial journey. Yeah, sorry, time's up. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Kiran. Thanks for your presentation. Julius, we are open for the Q&A. Dr. Vinay, would you like to take up the first question?
Yeah, sure, Tushar. Okay. Kiran, couple of questions. This tool is nice, good if I know what questions to ask. But really, you are competing against those tips that I get 10 per day, which says that if I invest in something, in 3 days, I can double my money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why will I use your tool? Right? I am inclined to use those tips. That is part one of the question.
Yeah.
Part two of the question is too much effort. Okay. Sitting in front of a chatbot and interacting with it. I mean, I really have to know what questions I want to ask the chatbot in order to get something useful out of it. Right? You can first respond to this because I have one or two more questions coming up.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. I think the mindset of making money fast is very real. In fact, if you ask Myfi that question, we basically say, we take a long-term view. That's how you can grow wealth, etc. But, that aside, we are allowing users to come in and ask anything. And essentially, we also have like a lot of guides. So what I didn't show is there's a navigation, if you pull out, has a bunch of questions that you can just click into, right? And every time you ask a question, there's also a follow-up that we recommend. One of the reasons that we focused on mutual funds initially is, again, we are very much focused on a long-term view. Even our enterprise customers today are mutual fund houses, right? We're not going after the stockbroking market today. So have I solved the problem of convincing them to use an app like Myfi and invest and take a safer option? I don't know a good answer to that, but we do try to gamify it a little bit, saying we have a portfolio score, improve your score. We give you notifications every week saying how your portfolio has done over the past week. In fact, that's one of the most clicked notifications in our platform, even a year down, even though we've added many things over the past few months and weeks. So I don't know if I've changed the mentality of the user. That is a very challenging thing to do. But we very strongly believe that we are focused on the long-term investor and someone who's willing to kind of take the time to build that financial wealth. On your question on what do people ask, I mean, I addressed it a little bit, but how do people know what to ask? Response options, so questions that you can ask as a follow-up, is one big area that we've been investing in a lot of time and effort into. So the question, even on WhatsApp, as I was showing you, we have popular questions. We have what can I ask next? Those questions are not just they're not just a group of like 100, 200 random questions. They're actually contextual to what your previous question and the answer was. So there's a lot of effort being put into how we can get the user to follow up with another question, right? When we started this in around July 1st, 2024, towards the end of the year, we were seeing around 6, 7 questions per user per month. Today, it's around 14. And the biggest change that we've made is better response options, more contextual response options. Obviously, there are features and things that have come as well over the months, but response options and telling people what they can ask has been a big part of it.
I see. Okay. Second question is, what effort is required to link this with my brokerage account? I mean, let us say I have half a dozen brokerage accounts.
So we have account aggregator integration.
Okay.
Or you can
fine. So you have that in place, right?
Yes.
So here is a suggestion. In spite of what you do, I will do my own thing, right? I may still rely on those 100 tips that I get.
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you work in the background? Keep a lookout for the health of my investment and highlight issues because you can do that in the background every minute.
Yes.
And then send me notifications or make me do certain things so that I don't lose my investment.
So we don't do that on stocks yet,
Not on
except
stocks, even on mutual funds, for instance.
so on mutual funds, we do actually. So if you have a fund and there is a, let's say there's some, we compare it against category averages on both risk, returns, expense ratio. And if there is a recommendation, we do send a notification out saying, hey, we have this recommendation for you. Click on it. You can go in and, view that suggestion.
Okay,
Unfortunately,
so I mean, do you really keep track of my total investment value versus value right now, and highlighting whether some of my mutual fund investments are losing money, for instance?
yes. So we
Because
do.
because once you invest, there is laziness. I may not look at my investment for a long period of time.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing, I want to say, given most behaviors today. But we do monitor it daily. We have certain things that trigger daily. We have certain things that are weekly. So that's our weekly summary of the portfolio. So both happen. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I'll that's from me for now. Yeah.
Professor Rahul, your question, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't understand very basic, and I was going to ask you a very fundamental question. Because what you demonstrated is just kind of looks very similar to just asking any general chatbot, right? This kind of a question. So then what is the key thing that,
Correct. So
of which I would like to come to your chatbot rather than your chat GPT or so many others are available.
I was hoping somebody would ask this question because I wanted to address this as well, right? So here, what we have is one, we have multiple LLMs for specialized use cases, SLMs as well. So for search, we have a model. For portfolio questions, we have a model. For RAG, we have a different model. So each of these queries, so when I say something like find me tech funds with low expense ratio, right? We are able to break that query down in a way that other models typically do not. When you ask things like find me funds with high SIP returns, high absolute returns, annualized returns, we're able to understand all these different parameters. So that's one part of it. That's very LLM heavy in terms of how it's broken down and things. Now, once we understand the question, the answer to this is actually not being given by the LLM, right? We are using financial deterministic models that we have built to retrieve the relevant data. So if you go to a ChatGPT, Perplexity, any of these platforms, they are essentially allowing the LLM to, get the answer based on internet data and general data versus us, where we have pipelines where we get live daily data and do this analysis before giving the answer. And we have actually done a comparison on our answers versus ChatGPT and Perplexity. Just on returns, as an example, none of these platforms, either they are plain wrong, or they give you ranges. So if you say, what is the last 3 years annualized returns of DSP small cap, it will give you a range. It'll say 19 to 21%. It doesn't actually give you the accurate number that we were able to give you, and that is reliable, and you can compare it with other sort of platforms out there. So the nature of the business requiring the area fintech, financial wealth, also requiring specific answers is something that we are very focused on, and we don't want to allow the LLM to make up an answer almost on these specific nodes and elements.
So you're saying you've done the evaluations and you're saying you're better than LLMs in those queries, but does the presentation have some of those so that for comparison or something like that?
I don't have a side-by-side comparison, but
It's okay. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Okay, then I'm done. Yeah, thanks.
one other thing I want to add, if nobody has a question, is on the models and fine-tuning. But
No, I have a question. So this market is again also crowded, Jaroda and Pro of the world, and we have seen in this jury round, there's similar kind of applications are popping up. What is your differentiator? And they're far ahead in terms of their usage and other stuff.
yeah. So we don't want to be competitors to your Zerodha, Grow, or any of these platforms, because our core is really the technology that we have, right? The search models, for example, are fine-tuned to specific scenarios and things that we have kind of identified as key. So our real USP here is the models and the orchestration and the number of SLMs that we have to do certain things. So if a Zerodha would like to use us, we'd be very happy to power their conversational piece, which is why we are, going to enterprises saying, use us. We
No,
have
tech is one part. I'm talking about on the business side, right? Is your business model different than Zerodha or Grow, or what is that? Because in long run, technology doesn't become a differentiator. Everybody copies everybody.
See, our model really is two parts. One is the enterprise piece, where we charge a fee for it. The other part is the consumer piece, which we are still working on monetizing. Today, we have distribution fees as well as loan against mutual funds. So there's a lending element there, which we are using to monetize. So there is no, I mean, we're not innovating in the business model side of things, but we do believe that the experience is different enough that even a new investor can come in and ask a very simple question like, what do I do with my money, and have that journey grow from there, versus going to one of the existing platforms, which are a lot more complex when you land and you don't necessarily know what to do from there.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Thank
So
you. Thank
Kiran,
you.
yeah, Bhupesh, you have another thing?
No, sir, please.
Okay. One quick question, Kiran. Is there any kind of fundamental or even technical analysis happening within your whatever you do, or
Yeah.
have you planned for it? Because there is huge scope in that.
So we have an investments team that's focused continuously on, building better sort of model portfolios, which is that portfolio builder I showed you. We are continuously improving our search capabilities and sort of derive data from there. So we have a team that is focused entirely on that. So it's really bringing together a finance team, an AI team, and experience all in one place, which I think is quite rare also, just from a skills perspective.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kiran. Thanks for the presentation. Greatly answered Q&A of all of the jurors. We wish you the best with your result.
Thank you.
Thanks for presentation. Jurors, please enter the score